All right, here we go. 3, 2, get over here. This is Was It Good? And we're delivering a fatality of an episode on Mortal Kombat. I'm Ravi, and I'm here with my brothers Christian Arjuna, and Miss Lauren is here for the second week in a row in the producer's chair. Let's start this episode off with a bang. Who is your favorite Mortal Kombat fighter, either to fight with or just in general? Aesthetically.
Question. Oh, wow. Yeah. The original word in is what you're saying. Interesting.
Yeah. Does anyone have a favorite Mortal Kombat? Actually, before we even answer that question, what's everyone's history with the video game? Because obviously
It's limited.
the video game is very violent, and growing up our parents were smart because they knew that if we played violent video games, nothing would happen.
Would become violent people.
Yes, these violent delights.
These violent
These
delights.
violent Turkish delights.
It's limited. I played it a little bit.
I'm terrible at
the
it.
old ones,
I hate it.
And fighting games in general do not come
Fighting
naturally
games
to
aren't the
us.
classic button mashers. You just mash the buttons. And
But to
hope
become
that
a
you win.
master, you have to go beyond that.
Yeah, you got to mash them in a certain order.
Yeah, you got the combos. It's hard. I would say my personal favorite fighter was probably, and I think this might be the consensus here, Sub-Zero.
Yeah, he's pretty
He was
cool.
just cool as shit, literally
I
and figuratively.
I personally like Scorpion.
Oh,
I mean, there's the other
You like
side of the
Scorpion,
coin.
Yeah, Scorpion.
yeah.
Just for two reasons. It's his fatality finishing move, the ripping his face off
yeah.
to reveal a skull that can then shoot fire.
Yes. The combination, the Scorpion skull is a combination of the chain weapon and fire, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like two powers. We got a comment here from Sahara Powell. Katana is her favorite. Very good choice.
Katana
I would
is
say.
the
Katana.
which one?
Katana is like the ninja lady. I don't think she was in this one. That was Melina. Melina in the movie that we just saw was the one with the demon, the teeth. You know, the crazy smart. Katana was like, see, I'm not too familiar with.
She's the one in the
lore
pink
there.
and purple
Christian,
outfit.
you sound like you're an expert. Honestly,
I am not.
so-
I am not an expert. I am actually just winging that hardcore.
Well,
right now.
you had me convinced. I was like, hell yeah.
I'm wearing a
And
One Punch
for
Man
to
t-shirt.
clarify, we are talking Mortal Kombat, the new HBO Max / Warner Bros. Theatrical released 2021 film that just came out. Not the 1995 Mortal Kombat film.
Annihilation.
No, that's the sequel to the
Oh, I
1995.
never saw Annihilation. Then.
Yeah, I didn't either. Nobody did. It was a straight to
Did
DVD release.
Did anyone see the
Okay.
original?
Yeah, the original's great.
Yeah, the original
You
is
have seen the original,
fantastic.
too.
No, I remember. It's like
Oh,
one of
okay.
my earliest memories.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, it's a classic '90s.
Oh,
joke.
watching the
Johnny
trailer.
Tsunami's grandfather is the bad guy.
It's even better.
That's Johnny Tsunami's grandfather.
Well, from the Disney movie,
Johnny Tsunami.
Johnny
Oh,
Tsunami.
I thought it in real life. I was like,
No, I
holy
don't
shit.
think so.
What?
That'd be incredible. He's
Yeah.
also in Man in the High Castle. He's probably the best part of that show.
No,
forgot about all
the
that
best
show.
part of that show is when they didn't follow the books, went off the rails, and it finally ended.
I never saw the the last.
Don't
two
bother.
seasons. Okay.
Don't bother. It's a huge waste of time. The ending of that is just
Fantastic.
not good. Not worth the wait,
Got it.
unfortunately. So
Cool. One of those shows I'll never pick up again.
Yes. Yeah. Say goodbye to it.
So before going into this movie, your favorite character you said was Sub-Zero, mine being Scorpion.
Actually, mine is Kano.
Kano?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
Did that
because,
change because of this movie, or was that before?
No, I just wanted to be different.
That's also that's fine.
Asshole.
No, I actually like the lizard guy. I thought the lizard one was normally the one I would go with when I play Mortal Kombat.
Which lizard one?
The chameleon lizard thing.
Reptile is his name.
Reptile. Yeah, Reptile.
His name is literally Reptile.
Reptile.
Oh.
So-
Yeah, I like him.
On the point with the name.
I like that he's not human.
Yeah. Interesting.
Also Goro, because has
Goro has
four
4 arms.
I mean, if you can't have 2 arms, take 4 arms.
Yeah. That's
I think
true.
I played with Goro a lot and Lizard or Reptile.
Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever his name was.
I think we were more into not Street Fighter. What was the other one?
Well, the only
That was on
fighting game we
PlayStation
played
2.
a lot
I
was,
know which one you're talking about.
Virtua Fighter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, more into virtual.
But
Fighter.
the fighting game, let's be honest, we and I think everyone our age grew up with is Smash Brothers. That's the
Oh yeah,
that is
that's
the
the
fighting game
best.
that we grew up with, and it's the best one by far.
So would you be okay if Nintendo, for some insane reason, was like, you know what, Warner Brothers, take our property of Super Smash Brothers and then make a gore fest Mortal
a
Kombat
gory
esque like movie.
Super Smash Brother
Oh
movie.
man, I would totally see that.
Yeah, that will never happen.
Oh, definitely not
I would just
happen.
take a regular movie.
I think
of Smash
rights
Brothers.
issues would be an issue, right?
Yeah.
Because there's so many different characters that. they're
Oh
pulling
yeah,
in.
yeah. Big. I mean, it would never happen.
Just make it a Nintendo
and
production.
it would also think like damage people. Like that's you can't.
Oh,
do
Disney
that.
did have Mario in Wreck-It Ralph 2, I think. So there you go.
loaned him, I guess,
Yeah.
or something.
It's possible. Anything is possible.
Unlike this movie.
What?
What do you mean? There's
This movie
mo-
proves that anything.
there's
is
5
possible.
sequels incoming.
Is there really?
I mean,
Wait, it's Mortal Kombat. Are they kicking off like a Fast and Furious like
it's all about family.
universe? And I don't know.
Well, they've already talked about the Johnny Cage teach. Everyone's like, oh, that's about Mortal Kombat 2. Not necessarily. The producer of the film says they have a whole idea to do a whole Johnny Cage movie about Johnny Cage leading up to a potential Mortal Kombat 2.
This feels like Warner Brothers looked at the DC films and what they did there, and they were like, you know, that didn't work for us. Where we did the individual like Superman, then Batman, Superman, then we did the Justice League. Let's start with the team up movie first and go backwards.
Well,
That's what it felt like,
Yeah.
or it's starting to feel like.
They clearly know what they're doing.
Let's actually talk about the main characters here, right? The general plot of the story.
Plot.
If there
There
is
was
a
a
plot.
plot?
I don't know. I mean, most people, when they think of Mortal Kombat, it's a fighting game. There's a tournament. It's in the outer realm. There's a demon guy that wants to invade Earth. He's won 9 tournaments. He's going to win his 10th one. Boo-hoo. But this movie did something different where we're not actually at a tournament.
Yeah.
We're introduced to these characters like Sonya Blade,
Jax,
Chun-Li,
Kano,
Kane.
Chun-Li.
No, Chun-Li. Wow.
different
Whoops.
franchise, different fighting game.
Street Fighter.
But we also have a brand new character in Cole.
Yeah.
But instead of them at a tournament,
Yeah.
we're seeing the bad guys invade
Basically trying to cheat.
Earthrealm.
Earthrealm.
Trying to cheat.
Yeah, they were just basically cheating, and then
Bringing those cheat codes.
and then all those characters like Goro, Reptile, basically every
Cable.
Kano, everybody under is it Shang
Shang Zhao?
Shang's yeah.
Shang-Chi?
No, the main villain guy, Shang.
Yeah.
Let's call him Shang. He's called Shang,
We'll just
okay?
call him bad guy.
Bad guy. Played
Bad
by
guy.
Chin Han, who plays infamously. Wait, is that? Now I'm just getting all of my names and everything confused.
I would just go with bad guy.
Raiden.
Bad guy. No, Lord Raiden.
Lord. Whoa, shit. Yeah. All we know
Johnny
is
Cage.
all we know is that you just need to boot up the video game, Mortal Kombat 11, and there you go. You'll have all these characters there. Plus, actually, except Cole. Cole's not in the game.
He's an original character.
He is an original character. It's
with
interesting
original
though,
powers.
because I actually have Mortal Kombat 11, but Mortal Kombat 11.
Did you buy it for the movie?
No, I've had it for like a few months.
Oh wow.
But it's got like Terminator in there, Rambo. So they pulled in all these other like properties.
That's pretty
Like,
cool.
What is that? 20th Century Fox?
I don't
Or is
know.
it WB?
I don't know.
Yeah. So either way, whatever the licensing is, it's the same. Mortal Kombat also has this, like access to Terminator
That's pretty cool.
and Rambo and a few.
Who
others.
wins the tournament? Who
Spawn.
wins the tournament in the story mode?
I haven't actually gone through the story mode yet. I've just been playing one-offs. I'm still trying to figure out who my character is. You know
Classic-
how
classic
I have
Krishna
I have that issue.
Though you have actually beat a few video games in
I
recent
have.
months.
I have. Yeah.
You've turned a page. in your
I
life.
have.
Yeah, it is Shang. Sorry. I just completely. Yeah, that's what but yeah, it's Shang. So Shang obviously invading Earthrealm. All of his generals get brutally massacred. My first hot take is we have tons of hot takes here. There wasn't enough violence in this.
That I agree. 100%.
Yeah. The Red Band trailer, you pretty much saw all of the gore or some of the extreme gore in that Red Band trailer. There was maybe the only thing that was kind of shocking was when I'm gonna have to keep looking up everyone's name here, and it's gonna drive me nuts.
Melina?
Yeah,
Got
Melina.
her head
Yeah, when
sliced
she
in half,
gets
yeah.
cut in half completely, that was probably the most kind of like, whoa, what is
Or what's
what
his
is
name gets
happening?
his soul sucked out.
That wasn't
wasn't
that bad. That was
That
like
was emotional.
that was
I
like-
cried.
Ooze from Power Rangers. That's that kind of level of evil or whatever. Like you remember like ooze would like suck
Ivan
people's
ooze?
Ivan ooze.
So they clearly killed the C-lister in the group.
Oh God.
That wasn't shocking to you? You didn't see that coming a mile away?
I like that guy.
Because I didn't.
You didn't?
No, of course I did. Everyone knew that guy was gonna die.
I didn't know it was gonna die.
But they have all the classic original characters and the B-lister.
No, he is an original character.
Yeah, but he's not in the first movie.
He's not in
in
the
the first game.
He's not in the first game. He's introduced in the sequel,
Second game.
Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat
but
2.
even so,
Yeah, you
even
knew he was gonna be
so.
if they're gonna kill one. He was the one.
And you had to in order to create emotion.
Exactly.
great
So
conflict.
everyone can unlock their
Yeah.
own powers.
I would definitely agree there was not enough gore. That's actually my biggest complaint with the movie.
The first 2/3 of the movie.
Here's what I would say to that. So clearly, this movie is a setup movie. So you can almost look at it like a prequel. The fact that it's
Kung
not
Lao,
at
by
a
the way,
tournament-
was the character name.
Kung Lao.
Kung Lao, yes.
That's also isn't that the name of Immortal Iron Fist's like homeland or the homeland of the monks?
Kung Lung.
Oh, it's
Kung
Kung
Long,
Lung. I'm sorry.
yes.
Kung Lung and Kung Lao. Anyways,
And Kung Pao Chicken.
if you're looking at
Nope.
this movie as I think you're supposed to, which is a prequel, because it doesn't take place in the tournament, this is clearly set up for what is about to happen. And you have to imagine they plan on pushing the envelope with every subsequent movie that's going to come out. Even though we didn't have the prerequisite amount of gore that we would expect and want from a Mortal Kombat movie, it is coming, I think. And that's why they
In
didn't
the
go
sequel?
crazy in the sequels for sure. But like I said, I think it's kind of like it's supposed to serve as a prequel, even though we're going to get another prequel potentially with the Johnny
An
Cage
in
movie.
between quel?
Yes,
Maybe?
yeah.
Maybe it's all about what Johnny Cage was doing throughout this movie.
Which is shooting
And
movies,
then it
isn't
ends with him meeting Cole.
Isn't he an action star?
I don't know, maybe. He's supposed to be like Jean-Claude Van Damme, right?
Yeah, I think so. Like a
Similar to that style.
like a
Yes.
fake martial artist.
They should actually get Van Damme.
But he's an actual martial artist. Like in his backstory
Yeah.
in the game is he does martial arts or knows martial arts, and he was a big Hollywood actor, and then he's like a C-lister, and then I think in the original movie his agent calls him and is like, "Hey, there's this movie shooting. Get to this boat, and it's Lord Raiden." And being like, "Hey, come protect the Earth realm," and la-di-da-di-do.
Yeah, and he's like, I can't. It's like too late.
Too late, you're already
You're
here.
on a boat.
Oh
Set
boy.
sail. There's no going back.
So, not enough gore. How else would you describe the movie in one word impression?
Oh, we're doing one impression.
And one word.
Impression.
I would say fatality.
Wow. Okay. Low hanging fruit much?
Yes, it's a fatality. Here's why. Because the movie potentially, this is to me. Now, I understand that this movie was actually, it seems, pretty well received on the socials and the interwebs. But if I was looking at this as unbiased as possible, this movie is so bad that it could be a fatality in the franchise that they want to launch. Like, that's how I look at it. Now, when I say it's bad, I still found it very entertaining. There were still like moments that I very much enjoyed. I just thought those moments were too far and few between to make it the franchise starting movie that I think franchises need. Most franchises today need good, strong openings, right? And then you can have flops down the line.
The opening scene?
I would say this opening is kind of a flop.
The opening scene was good.
Or a fatality.
No, the
Was
opening.
it? What was the opening?
The opening scene is the origins of Sub-Zero and Scorpion
That was cool.
hundreds of years ago. It's probably the best part of the
600, like
movie.
Yeah.
500 years in the past?
Yeah. When we saw that, because they released the first 7 minutes, I believe, on YouTube.
Yeah, a couple
When we
days
watched
ago.
that, I was super excited. I was like, holy shit. They're going to go into like the lore of some
Wow.
of these characters. And they did with those two, which was cool.
For about 10
But-
minutes.
Yeah, it was 10 minutes, 10 minutes of lore building.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my one word's fatality.
That's a good one. Mine's actually going to end up being standards.
Standards.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, your high standards did it?
No, in the sense that I feel the pandemic and the
Oh, no.
world the world that we live in currently has changed to a point where I think our standards when it comes to movies
Mm-hmm.
have dropped so low that we think a movie like Mortal Kombat is good or even slightly entertaining. Like a lot of like the social outcry or the social discussion around this was that the movie overall was an entertaining piece.
Yeah.
It was fun. Yes, it is goofy, and it is at the end of the day a video game turned movie.
And Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat has always been campy. Like,
Yes.
it's always that they've never leaned away from that. They've
Right.
always leaned to being like ridiculous.
here.
Yeah,
It's so
exactly.
good. It's so good.
It's
But when you look at the movie overall, in terms of even like the technical, I mean, some of the CGI was kind of just bad.
It is a pandemic movie.
And of course, I get that. But like, I look at this movie and I wonder, even in a year, when you go back and rewatch it,
Oh, you're gonna do that?
no, most likely the visuals, I don't think they're gonna hold up well.
Yeah.
Like, I think this movie will be one of those films when you look at it down the road, you're like, wow, I can't believe we let that go out for whatever, go out and people actually enjoyed it. So,
the Sub-Zero stuff was cool.
which part?
Just all of his scenes, I felt like were well.
Just
animated.
honestly,
Like
his
the ice.
the ice stuff
looked really cool. Like the
only in the beginning. The ice there, I think, looked really, really good, especially when he's in the village and
Sure.
he's making ice and is causing his hand to like cut and bleed. I thought that was cool.
even the stuff with first Scorpion later in the movie was good. I thought.
What, in the UFC gym?
Yeah,
The Frozen.
Well, I mean,
Frozen
every
gym.
visual was just like it almost felt like the battle maps, right, from Mortal Kombat. where
Yeah, I
they're
mean, there was
just
a lot of like side profile
Yeah,
shots as well, which was interesting. But yeah, standards.
standards.
So your standards have been lowered. You're saying
Yes,
that's fair.
Just-
Or and everyone else's.
from a Mortal Kombat film. Arjun, your one word impression?
Yeah. Go to Arjuna. What's your one word impression?
Mine's gonna be choppy, because
Should
some
be
characters got chopped up, and they became chopped. And the movie itself was just very choppy. Like it didn't figure out exactly what it wanted to be. With the beginning, you got this type of like epic origins type of stuff you're gonna get with some of these characters, and then you had this really bad character development kind of in the middle, and trying to develop these characters, and they all come together and get their powers and whatever. And then you just had the mind-numbing action, I think, that everybody wanted in the last third of the movie,
Yeah.
which I think is probably what everybody wish had just been the majority of the movie. But they definitely tried to kind of, especially in the middle, when it really started to drag, was when they gave motivations to these characters and like had this this like really flimsy character development that just
The dinner scene?
none of that worked. Like if I think in a non-pandemic world you cut all that shit out and reshoot more fighting scenes to just
Yeah.
load the movie up with that, because it felt like they had to keep it in because they just didn't have enough of the rest. So it ended up being choppy.
All right, that's fair. Chopper.
To go along
Super
real quick with
Booper.
my standards, obviously the film was both released in theaters and also on HBO Max at the time of the taping of this pod. So after its opening weekend, Mortal Kombat has brought in, box office-wise, 21 million.
51 million worldwide.
Yeah, which
Wow.
they're saying is good.
Well, but no, in pandemic.
I know, that's good. But that's so like
That should be
bizarre.
That is likely enough to greenlight more movies.
It's already been greenlit.
Yeah, I mean, it was greenlit before it even was
Internally,
released.
No.
they were like, no.
Yeah.
Officially, they say no, but internally, they were like,
They're like, we have a banger.
so fucking good.
Well, because the budget of this movie was only 55 million. It wasn't like a super expensive movie.
We can tell.
So it's it's made good. It's gonna make good money if that's what it made in its opening weekend. It should recoup and maybe make a profit.
Before we get into Arjuna's DVD chapter listings, let's just talk real quick about the power trading piece of this film. So, if you have a dragon tattoo, so the typical or the the Mortal Kombat logo essentially, you
If you're branding, literally.
you're literally branded by Mortal Kombat. You get powers like
Yes.
superhero powers. And everyone's fan favorite character, I'm assuming, is Kano. Said it multiple times, getting superhero powers. Do you guys think that worked for this? Does it make it feel a little bit too similar to a superhero movie, or does it work for this film?
It would have worked if they didn't do that opening scene, right? Where even though Bihan, right, had the supernatural ice powers, they did it in a way that seemed like very cool and epic and grounded almost. But then when you kind of had the branding and then like we get superhero powers and they're just kind of there, that fell away from it, and that kind of leads into that choppiness, right? Where it's like they couldn't figure out like if they wanted to be like super serious and like dark and amazing and epic, or they were like leaning all the way into that campy fever. Like, if they wanted to do that, remove the opening scene. Just like make it campy. That's I think that's. It feels like it's just again one of those movies where like there were 5 different ideas and they put them all in and they're like, whatever works will work.
Because that opening scene with Sub-Zero and Scorpion definitely makes like that in itself feels like a completely different movie than the rest of it.
It feels like The Last Samurai.
Yeah, very much.
At least the way it looks.
Yeah,
like very Last Samurai. But yeah, you're totally right. It doesn't. I like the idea of it because let's be honest, Mortal Kombat and most of those like fantasy fighting games have a level of people have some certain like powers. So I liked that they try to explain it a little bit, but I wish from what I remember though, like not everyone in the games have powers. Like some of them have weapons.
Right.
Jackson
like
has,
Sonya
super
Blade
robot
has
arms,
just guns.
guns and knives.
Yeah,
right?
that was our whole thing.
So it's like I like it and I don't. I guess I'll withhold final judgment until the movie with the tournament happens, and I can see the good guys versus the bad guys. Because if it works, right? If it comes where you've got like an epic good side versus the epic bad side, and their powers are flying at each other, and it just enhances the martial arts, then it'll be great. And who cares if everyone's got a power or 2, right? But if it's like too much and it feels like it almost like cheapens the martial arts because they could easily go that way as well, right? Instead of having to, do your uppercuts and your sweeping legs or whatever, you just shoot your eyeball at people instead. It might cheapen it. So
you shoot your eyeball.
yeah, you shoot your eyeball.
Oh,
laser.
Kano.
Good old Kano.
Yeah, Terminator. He had the Terminator power for a second. Even though
Yeah.
Terminators don't, he just looked like a Terminator. He didn't. It's a Superman power, but he looked like a Terminator with his red eye.
Please keep explaining this.
Okay. Yeah, you want me to?
Anyway, so Arjuna's DVD chapter listing. As ours, Arjuna spends hours, maybe days,
Weeks.
centuries,
God.
eons
Jesus. How old are you?
in his
What
brain.
realm is this?
In his brain, coming up with what we call Arjuna's DVD chapter listing. And Krishna, as always, is going to go ahead and read this in your normal voice.
Oh, thank God. I was actually going to do like a little, depending on what it says,
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, the first one here. Oh, God. Let it go.
Oh my
Let it
God.
go.
Some monotone right
Fuck
there.
the McGregors. Cold shoulder. Kano wins. Trading mode. Power up. Captain America retires. Finish them.
Wait, Captain America retires?
So the guy with the spinny hat, is like the hat almost
Oh.
has like shield physics. Goes,
Right,
oh,
right,
it's
right.
shield
Yeah,
physics.
yeah,
So
yeah.
he's like
Wait, so when you
Captain
say he retires, you
He
mean
dies.
America. Yeah, he's dead.
Wow.
Well, is
Okay.
he dead, though? His soul was just taken by Shang.
So again, more to the choppiness. Like that felt like there was something there with like his soul coming out and being sucked in, and like maybe he could
I
come
think it's
back.
gonna be a
But it
zombie
felt like
army.
it was cut out.
Could be
Yeah,
Shang's
maybe it could
zombie
be
army.
maybe cut out or followed up in a sequel that may never happen.
I'll keep going now. Finish them. Fire and ice ain't so nice. Hollywood. Nice. That was good. That was
I mean,
good.
the
It was
movie
very-
writes
it was
itself
very
because
succinct.
it's essentially.
I like my favorite one was Kato wins and then training mode and power up.
Well, literally, Kano says Kano wins.
Yep. I mean, everyone for the most part, I think, said they're like they're
Says something.
yeah, something iconic from the original game.
Get over here.
Yeah.
You should have had get over here in there though. That's the only thing that you were missing.
I didn't want to be too on the nose for that one,
Why?
because it would just that would have been the easy one.
It's iconic.
Yeah, but is it though?
I was looking forward to saying it.
With
I didn't
the
say it.
first chapter, Let It Go, Let It Go.
Yeah.
What are you referring to?
So in
Ice.
front,
and I feel like I know what you're gonna say, but I want to know
it just
why
ice?
would you connect that?
Bihan, when he's doing the, where he's going off, he's killing everyone. He's letting ice, go all over the town, and it kind of reminded me of in Frozen, Elsa when she has her powers, she like unleashes her ice and she says, "Let it go." So he's becoming his true self and releasing his ice powers by murdering a bunch of people.
Does that actually? I've never seen Frozen, so that's.
You've never seen
so wait,
Frozen?
so does Elsa murder a bunch of people?
No.
Oh.
But
there's
she-
a lot of goofy
Well, some
like.
people think that. She might.
Well, have you seen like the supercuts where they'll have that scene of Elsa like throwing
Yeah,
ice,
yeah.
and then it'll cut to like somebody slipping on ice, or like being impaled by snow.
Oh God.
So yeah, maybe she did. I don't know.
You never know.
But we're not
That's
talking
insane.
about that.
She kind
Oh,
of
she
is a
probably did.
villain. She's villain-esque in the first one.
She is.
Kind of.
Oh fuck.
I think she's confused.
Dark.
Yeah. I mean, they made it more so she's not like a full-on villain.
Well, let me ask you this. This is an important question then. How would Elsa do in a Mortal Kombat tournament?
She has ice power, so whatever Sub-Zero does, she does.
She has no
So
martial arts, though. I assume. I could be wrong.
She can like summon her own fighters though. So in
Yeah,
the
does she have,
movie,
like, an ice
she
army?
has like an ice golem
yeah,
that she like can summon, and she can.
or
make
she could
things.
summon a Sub-Zero.
She can grant life to things, right? So Olaf, the snowman, she creates Olaf because
I have
she can grant life to snow.
I have an idea. Going forward, we pick one character in each episode, and we enter them into the Mortal Kombat tournament, and we try and figure out how they do. So
There's
for
a
this
lot.
week-
There are tons of YouTube channels
Oh,
that
yeah.
do that
Oh,
already.
yeah, but we're just gonna do it for fun. It should be like a little section. So what are we doing next? Bad Batch.
No, we're doing Invincible.
Yeah,
Oh,
Invincible
Invincible, perfect.
season
Oh,
finale.
perfect. So we'll put Invincible into the Mortal Kombat tournament next episode and figure out how he does. Let's get. We don't have to do that. It's a lot of work.
We're not going to do that. We're not doing that. We're not doing
Fine.
that. So obviously, Mortal Kombat, it's grounded in martial arts. The 1995 film does a great job of capturing that, moment of martial arts and karate. How does this movie kind of hold up with, just general martial arts?
Not great.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah. It's honestly, I wanted it. Like it was there, but I wasn't that like invested. I wasn't like blown away by it. Obviously not everything can be like Ip Man, right? Like
Mhm.
classic martial arts movie.
Sure.
Not everything can be even Rush Hour, another really good action. Any Jackie Chan movie, right?
Mhm.
Like any that really good, well thought out, well acted choreography.
And
in terms of
capturing it on the
martial arts.
lens too, like the underratedness of Jackie Chan is like
Yeah.
he knows not only how to fight, but how to make sure it looks good on camera and
Yes.
helps coordinate those fights
Yeah.
and sells it too. So
Yeah.
I just feel like you don't have as many of those types of actors. And
Yeah, or those movies anymore.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
With the advent of CGI, you don't really need to rely so much on that kind of work anyway. But even so, I was like a little disappointed in it. It was just there, but it wasn't anything over the top. It wasn't anything.
Again,
very memorable.
again with those action sequences, some of them got boring,
yeah,
and then they only became like, oh wow, that's really cool when there was that
insane. Gore.
insane gore fest, and even that it felt somewhat limited.
Yeah.
well, like Cole's whole thing was like he doesn't know how to like defend himself.
Right.
And so his power was like getting a supercharged armor. So when he got the shit beat out of him, he could just exert that power. Like
Iron Man suit.
yeah, like an Iron Man suit. So it was just kind of
Or Black Panther suit.
like that wasn't good fighting. He just gets beat up and then is able to like redirect that power into his punch.
Yeah.
So like, okay, that's cool, I guess, but not really. It's actually kind of lame because he's not a good fighter. He's just good at
Also,
getting beat up.
why would his
take a
power
punch,
only
right?
show up? Obviously, it showed up in that moment for the movie because it's a movie, but the power is supposed to show up. I'm assuming when you're under like a lot of distress or agony or whatever, right? And he's a fighter that typically gets his ass kicked. How come his power just never popped up in the ring when someone's just wailing on him?
It wasn't life threatening.
Yeah, I would say because not only was his life threatened, his family's life was threatened too. Yeah.
Real quick, can we talk about the family, Cole's family, and that whole weird dynamic? Because that was very confusing. Very confusing. So when we're first introduced to Cole, he's with a younger female and potentially
Oh God.
same age or someone who looks a little older than him. So
That was
you're very you're not in that opening scene with Cole and these two other actresses. You're not told who's who.
Yep.
You figure it out as time goes on, and the way in which it's kind of figured out is almost a little weird because from a casting standpoint, these three actors and actresses, they all kind of look somewhat similar in age, but you've got one of them playing the daughter to Cole and then to Cole's wife, who again could potentially be a little bit older than him. So it was all very, very confusing and was weird, and I did not like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people got brother sister vibes first. With the young his daughter, obviously.
His daughter, yeah.
A lot of people got those vibes, and so it was like people were thrown off by
Yeah, that was weird.
relationship.
That was weird.
But that is what happens.
Honestly, why
when
not
you
have
make
him,
this
like,
kind of
have it,
movie.
like I don't know. It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Again, the choppiness of it all. Right?
Also, these actors clearly weren't cast for their acting skills.
Oh God,
They were
Wow,
cast
Christian, that's harsh.
for
Are you a professional?
their professional martial arts skills, obviously, right?
I don't know the answer. I don't understand where the casting was done from. Like,
Or what they were looking for?
yeah,
We have a comment here that says Elsa is a cuter version of Sub-Zero.
that makes sense. I can see that. So who's the cuter?
Beyond.
Who's the cuter version of Scorpion?
Uh,
From a Disney movie.
Zuko from Avatar.
That's not Disney.
I know, but it's
And that's not cute.
It should be Sebastian.
Sebastian. Oh, from Under the Sea. Oh,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Little
He
Mermaid.
doesn't have fire powers.
Yeah, but
His attitude is on fire.
he's
What about anger from Inside Out? He shoots fire from his head.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Hades from Hercules.
No.
No, that doesn't work.
Well, he's undead. Scorpion's undead.
No. We're looking for the cuter version.
Yeah,
Hades
we're
isn't
looking-
cute.
Yeah. We're just looking for the straight
Hades
up.
could be cute.
Not really.
We're looking
No.
for the most ridiculous version.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
Sebastian is the one. Sorry.
I don't know. I think that's wrong.
Sebastian versus Elsa. They're destined to do battle forever.
So obviously, throughout this pod so far, we've been, pretty negative towards the film. Was there anything in the film that either of you enjoyed?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. I mean, there were still some, interesting parts, right? Melina getting her head split open. I was like, wow.
Christian.
So here's why I enjoyed that part. Because up until then, the movie had been quite tame by Mortal Kombat standards. Anyone who's played the game or seen the game or watched other people play the game knows that Mortal Kombat is, potentially the most gruesome and gory game franchise ever. Right? They have a whole set of moves called fatalities where people are ripping people's spines out of their bodies, taking their hearts and then kicking them, to Timbuktu. Just like the most ridiculous deaths you've ever seen.
Not to mention, when the game first came out, there was legal action taken to try and get the game removed from store shelves.
Yep.
Both
For the
on a
arcades,
state and a federal. Like I forget which 90s case in which state did it, but this was one of the games that was involved along with like Grand Theft Auto. And there was that whole like Fox thing where they're basically were pushing and saying that these games are causing violence in children and all that fun stuff.
But so when we finally see Melina's head and body get sliced from that guy's hat or the Captain America shield,
Yes.
the hat shield, I was like, oh, finally, that was right. I think the first moment and maybe the only moment really. Nothing else really compared to that we finally got our Mortal Kombat.
Jax's arms getting.
That's true. That's true.
Pretty brutal. But to be
But
fair,
it wasn't as visceral.
that was also in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we knew that was coming. That wasn't a surprise.
And honestly, it wasn't as visceral. I mean, you saw like brain matter and stuff, and Melina.
You kind of saw some of Jax's brain matter when he fell over.
Did we see brains?
There was
saw
blood on the
a pool
ground.
of blood from the ground.
It wouldn't be
She never
brains though.
really
He'd be dead,
explained.
right?
Well, they never really explained that because when you see him again, like his arms are obviously
Robots.
robotic arms, but then there's no cuts around his head or anything. So
Yeah. So okay. that's
continuity
interesting.
error, it seems like.
Yeah. Interesting.
I like how Jax got Iron Man arms, Cole got an Iron Man suit. Love Iron Man vibes in this film. They're training in a cave.
Yeah.
Iron Man takes place in a cave.
Batman too.
Yeah.
And I guess my other favorite part is probably Kano because he was so ridiculous and over the top.
You have to take all the good.
Yeah, for real.
parts
Like, that was
or-
going to be my favorite
like, you
part.
couldn't save anything for anyone else here.
Dick.
Wow. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Anyways, Arjuna's favorite part is Kano.
My favorite part was
Oh,
Kano.
I'm sorry. Ravi's favorite part was Kano. So go ahead, Ravi. Explain why Kano is your favorite part.
So Kano was my favorite part. Mostly because he's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just generally ridiculous in everything he says and does. But then also the fact that he turns on them and everyone's like somewhat surprised, but also at the same time not surprised. And then I think it's also kind of hilarious that Sonya just goes and, brutally murders him to get his
That's what happens in the original. I think that's taken directly from, if not the game, definitely the first movie back in '95 or whatever. So,
Yeah, so Kano. Goofy.
Kano.
Gonna miss that guy.
Yeah. I mean, he was probably the best acted part. Would you agree with
Yeah,
that?
he was believable.
You didn't believe Cole?
No, not at all.
No. When him and his daughter, you think that they're brother and sister when you first see him, he's already at negative points, right? And now that's not even his fault, but it's too bad. Like, I'm
It's too
sorry,
bad.
you're fucked.
It's not your fault, but I blame you anyway.
Yeah, I do. I mean, come on, be better. But no, yeah, sorry, I hijacked that.
Juno, favorite part?
Probably the opening sequence between Bihan and Scorpion.
And that was your first. You didn't watch the preview
No.
clip from YouTube?
No,
Okay.
and I'd obviously seen part of that in the trailer.
Yep.
But I just thought it was really well executed. In the first 10 minutes, I was like, oh shit, this could be a good movie. Like, this is what the movie's gonna be.
Yeah.
Standards were high.
Standards were very high,
Yeah.
and it never really recovered from there. I think the fatality of Scorpion really hurt the movie.
Wow. I will say as well, besides Kano, I thought those two guys did a great job, Scorpion and Sub-Zero. So I don't know if you guys have seen, it's not new anymore, but relatively recent show on HBO called Warrior, about basically the Asian community in San Francisco during the early 1900s when they were bringing a lot of people over to work on the railroads and stuff. It's basically a great martial arts show based on Bruce Lee's writings. The guy who plays Sub-Zero is in that show, and he is
Joe Taslim.
Is that Joe Taslim?
Mhm.
Fantastic. He's absolutely brilliant.
He was great as Sub-Zero. He really was.
Yeah, like as a martial artist, if you go and watch that, so forget the CGI fest. You want to go see real martial arts, go watch that show. But he's fantastic. He's so good in it. And he plays at least where I'm up to. He plays like a kind of a shady person. You know, you're not really sure what.
So like
What his
his
motivation
character
is?
before Bihan Sub-Zero. So he was in San Francisco. Wait, no.
Yeah.
Technically, that would be after. 'Cause
Yeah. I think what happens is that he clearly is in the Mortal Kombat tournament and then goes to San Francisco afterward. Oh, no, before. Shoot. I don't
Yeah,
know.
time's weird.
Timey-wimey.
And that's the thing is like you had two really good actors, right? Joe Taslim, and then I'm gonna butcher this name, so I apologize. Hiroki Sanada, who played Scorpion.
So good.
And you had them together for two scenes.
Yeah.
When
The
the
best two
entire
scenes of the movie.
the entire movie should have just been focused around that. Like you should have had way more Scorpion in there. You should have had more Sub-Zero. And then forget all the other characters.
What do you think if they did a movie, if this movie had just been about their like rivalry?
Oh, yeah.
So there is a movie out there about their rivalry. It's called Mortal Kombat: Scorpion's Revenge. Came out in 2020.
Animated,
It's an animated HBO Max film. Highly, highly recommend it if you love insane amounts of violence and gore. Like let's just say this Sub-Zero for Hanzo's family. He takes the son, freezes his neck, and then snaps it.
Wow.
But why? I wish we knew why. I wish like they gave more motivation to.
Well, so the
Bihan and
So
Sub-Zero
do you want
in
me
the
to
movie.
spoil the Scorpion's
Sure,
Revenge?
go for it.
So in that film, they explain it as because the tournament is a bunch of different realms, Scorpion is eventually killed in the movie and is sent to kind of this like hellish. Hell, I guess, is another realm, and the leader or person who's looking for fighters in the Hell realm wanted Scorpion because he knew he was a good fighter to get him entered into the tournament. So the leader of this Hell realm actually shapeshifted into Sub-Zero in order to get a rivalry going between Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Oh.
So what's weird is even in that like movie and everything, their rivalry is because of a third party as opposed to
Now,
whatever.
let me ask you this. At least I thought from the games and the original movie, Scorpion and Sub-Zero fight on the same side in the side of Outworld. Is that correct?
That's what it looks like.
So
So it
it's
looks
like-
like both of them in the 95 Mortal Kombat movie. They're both on the same side of Shang and the outer world and all that fun stuff. But in this movie, they have history. I don't know if anyone else picked up on this, and I haven't bothered to look it up, but I got the impression that Hanzo attacked Bihan's clan or group first, and Bihan was seeking revenge.
Ah.
That's the way I looked at it.
It definitely seemed like Scorpion had given up a life of violence.
Yes.
So, but that implies that he was a violent, or he did bad things.
Well, that's
before
also
his family.
that's also why I thought he ended up in hell, right? Because
That's
the way
true.
you look at it,
That's true.
the last time we see him, he dies,
yeah.
and then he's in hell, I guess.
In hell, yeah.
I guess the other explanation too is, and they talk about this briefly, is like the fighters are all, the mark is supposed to be the descendant of him, right? So maybe the idea of Bihan killing him and his family was to erase that.
Right.
He was
working for Shang from
Yeah.
the get-go.
right, and wanted to eliminate that
makes
line
sense.
so that prophecy couldn't come true, even though it
Yeah, there's that whole
They've been cheating
prophecy.
for centuries.
right.
Yeah, basically.
Those cheaters.
Cheating never
Once a
gets you
cheater,
anywhere
always a
unless
cheater.
you're a baseball team.
Well, no, because then you get caught.
But it takes a while.
It does take a while.
It does take a
and
while.
nothing really happened.
Nothing happened at all.
Yeah, correct.
Which team are we talking about? There's many.
We'll leave it open ended. Leave it open ended.
All of them. What has happened to any of them? Nothing.
They lost a draft pick. I don't know. Boo hoo.
Yeah. They
lost
They lost a draft pick of what? Like a 60-round draft?
50 rounds.
50? Oh, I'm sorry. 50 rounds.
Get it right. Come on.
And their
Fucking
fine.
insane.
Their fine is like
Fucking
what, a 10, 20 grand fine, which they make back in like boo sales in 5 minutes of opening the freaking stadium.
You lose the guilty manager for a season, and then you get him back. If you're the Red Sox. Which has clearly helped, though. I'm just going to say, Alex Cora is the MVP for the Red Sox so far.
All right, we're off topic there, as per normal.
Do you think he's a Sub-Zero fan?
Actually, real quick, we have to talk about this real quick.
Oh my God,
I wish
go.
Michael Learman was here. Did you see the Chargers player who took his whole contract in Bitcoin?
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah, I
Isn't
did.
that- I was gonna tag you in the tweet.
Well, you also heard about Trevor Lawrence today or two, right?
No.
He signed
He cut his
a
head?
exclusive deal with a cryptocurrency company. I think
Dogecoin?
it's not blockchain. It's one of those apps where you can go and buy cryptocurrency.
Trevor Coin.
Or
Yeah,
Trevor Coin.
should
Yeah,
be.
yeah, why not? We're gonna start having Was It Good coin soon.
Oh yeah, we should. Oh,
Let's
we
just
should
start
totally
data
Was
do
it
that.
mining.
good? Coins.
Coins.
Yeah,
Was it coins?
We're gonna start dabbling
Coins.
on the international.
And we're also
currencies.
gonna start selling these pods as NFTs.
That's a great idea. Why don't we?
Why would anybody buy one of our individual pods
don't
as a
know.
fucking NFT?
Because what if Arjuna blows up into becomes the greatest podcast producer ever? I don't know if that would make you famous or not.
I don't think.
I
Oh,
doubt
you're
it.
right.
Name-
What if Lauren
Name
blows up?
5 podcast producers that you know
That's
of
easy.
that are famous. And by
Yeah.
famous, let's quantify
Oh,
this.
that's easy.
They're verified on Twitter.
Yep.
They have plus 500,000
Yeah.
followers.
The 5 greatest producers of all time are Dylan.
Joe Rogan's
Dylan.
producer.
There you go. Good job. Joe Rogan's
his
producer. What's his name?
I don't know.
Joseph.
Rogan Joe.
Rogan.
Good old Rogan Joe.
Hello, this is Rogan Joe.
Can you imagine? No. Marshall, no.
Oh man, that's like, who's like your producer on your prod? Oh, just take our go last name first name. Then they boom.
Love it.
Rogan Joe.
Rogan Joe.
Rogan Joe. Rogan.
Anyway, I think it's time.
Yeah.
Wait, what's your least favorite part?
Oh my God. Do we? I mean.
Okay, let's just speed round it real quick. Least favorite parts: didn't use enough Scorpion, not enough violence.
Not enough Sub-Zero.
Cole's character was weird and uncomfortable. Raiden is kind of a huge dick, which I think is great. Actually, no, that's a good part. I like that. He's an asshole.
yeah.
He's like this
There's
god
also
type thing.
another big actor as well, by the way, who played Raiden. Or I don't know if he's big, but he's been in a bunch of stuff.
It's Tadanobu Asano.
Yeah, I didn't know that was.
I
his
am
name,
butchering these names so
We need to
poorly.
get you a pronunciation guide.
We didn't
You
get
know-
us all one. I didn't know how to say these names.
Yeah.
either, and I feel bad.
I mean, I think it's okay because my name has been butchered my entire life. So actually, then you would think, then you would think that I would spend the time to
That's
not
true.
butcher.
Also, Goro super underpowered. In the original movie, Goro is a terrifying threat
Yep.
over the tournament, and he kills. I think he kills Jax even in that movie. Goro here shows up for 2 seconds and is
His
beat.
guts get
Isn't
poured
Goro
out.
supposed to be like the most powerful
He's supposed to be like Shang's like secret weapon, I think.
Yeah, basically.
But I know I think more recent games they've made a bigger effort to make I think his sister. I don't know if it's his sister, but his sister like Sheva. Or
no, it's his
Shiva.
daughter.
Yeah, you're right. It's his daughter.
They too cannot get down. What,
Yeah.
what the relationship
Making
is.
her more of the big bad. I could be wrong on that though.
Well, they
Yeah,
did-
so Goro underpowered.
They did,
Not
you
good.
know, he did, you know, take all of their bodies at the end, and they could all come back. It's
Yeah.
it's zombie version.
A
I
zombie
guess.
because that's in Mortal Kombat 11. Is you've got like zombie.
Something tells me they won't come back because the cast, like the amount of characters in Mortal Kombat now, I think what Mortal Kombat 11 or 12, I think is the newest one.
I think it's 11.
But like they keep introducing new characters each game, and there's just so many. The roster's huge.
I bet Goro and Sub-Zero will come back in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
They're too
Sub-Zero
popular.
definitely.
They're just too popular.
Sub-Zero definitely. I think it might be Goro's daughter, sister, cousin,
Former
uncle,
roommate.
niece.
So former
No.
roommate.
It's Goro's barber.
Oh shit.
Whose hair am I gonna cut? I'll cut your face. And he just has scissors. Wait, what's the fat alien in Attack of the Clones? Who's like not Goro? Was kind of Goro-esque, right? He's like a big.
Oh,
Alien dude.
Drax.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drax.
That's his barber.
Or is it Jax?
Oh, what
No,
a
I think
Jax?
it's Drax.
Drax?
Kenobi's friend.
Kenobi's friend, yeah.
Who's
Actually,
creepy
real quick,
as
we
hell.
always get into Star Wars. Real quick, somebody put together like a really funny edit on YouTube of Obi-Wan Kenobi just consistently drinking.
Oh god.
And you
Obi-Wan
like when you
Caboose.
look at it, like they pulled scenes from episode 2 and episode 3, and there's like maybe 10 individual shots where he's drinking like clearly alcohol, and there's a bunch of shots from the Clone Wars series, the animated one.
And it's alcohol?
Yeah, like they're like him and Anakin are talking to Hondo, and Hondo's like, "Here, have a drink with me," and it's very clear like it's alcoholic. It's not like water or anything.
Shit, it's
I think Obi-Wan
Is Obi-Wan
Caboose a real
Kenobi-
thing. Like I think he has a drinking
is
problem.
Obi-Wan Kenobi a lushy?
I think
Does
so.
that mean the show is not going to be about all these like, oh, will like Sabine come into play and like,
It's just him
oh,
in
Darth
the-
Maul is going to be
him in the
live action
cantina?
Darth Maul, so, you know, Darth Vader. It's like, no. He's going to see Darth Vader because he's going to be so drunk.
Yep.
He's going to hallucinate.
He's having like a
And
mind
it's
quest.
not going to be. Everyone's like, oh, they're going to have a lightsaber battle. No, it's a drinking competition.
Wait a second.
I'd still watch that.
Wait a
That'd be
second.
fucking hilarious.
Wait a second. What if this is a period? Because he's clearly traumatized by everything that's happened.
Right.
So what if it is like 10 years of him just drinking his sorrows away?
It's
Be
not.
like, I failed.
Yeah.
My protege is now the bane of the entire galaxy, and I'm partly, or if not mostly, responsible. And I'm stuck on this desert planet.
This is probably why he to Luke calls himself Ben and not Obi-Wan, because
Can't remember his name.
he can't remember his name because he
That's why
got
he
so
doesn't recognize
drunk.
the choice. That's why he doesn't recognize the choice, because he's an alcoholic.
Yes.
He lost all of his fucking brain cells.
I hope we see it.
Oh, and then everyone's like, "Why did he age so much?" Because he's an alcoholic.
That's right.
Yep.
Yep.
That's why he's wrinkly and he has white hair.
no.
There you go. We figured it out.
Boom, guys. It wasn't a continuity error. George knew all along.
George always
Obi-Wan
knows.
Caboose, he's a real thing. Boom.
George always get that trending. George always knows. Just like Darth Jar Jar's a real thing. Clearly,
Clearly,
Are we still on
Obi-Wan
that?
Kenobi's drinking problem.
Obi-Wan-
I don't know
Obi-Wan
how we got
Caboose.
into that, but anyway, let's close this out for Mortal Kombat.
yeah.
Arjuna, was Mortal Kombat 2021 by Warner Brothers also simultaneously released? No, it's on HBO Max. I can look that up real quick. Directed by Simon McQuoid.
Good old Simon.
Wow, I think this is his directorial debut.
That would also make sense.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's only credited for this one, and then a video short called "The Nighttime Economy," and then he has producer credit for this as well. And
Get Matt Reeves
that's
to
it.
do it.
Oh God.
No, he was so what? No.
But anyway, was
Planet
it
of the
good?
Apes. So good.
It was not a good movie.
What?
It was choppy.
Whoa, throwback.
And yeah, there was definitely some moments. There were definitely some enjoyable moments in there, and they were, you know, if you put those together and rearrange some things, maybe it was a fully enjoyable movie. But there were too many detractors for me to say it was good. Krishna, was Mortal Kombat good?
Well, Goatee Arjuna, I'm gonna have to say no, it was not.
Ha, what a shock!
And the reason is that it was boring in the middle. It was just straight up. It was
The,
just
whole-
straight
the
up
whole
boring.
training stuff was really bad.
It was boring. There wasn't enough gore. The action fell a little bit flat in most places, and the characters that we found compelling weren't in it enough. Rafi, was Mortal Kombat, but with a K, by the way, just like my name. Was it good?
You know what? I'm gonna change it up a bit and continue the trend by saying no.
Change it up. I think we agree more than we don't.
Like you and I, or the three of us?
The three of us. I think we have quite a few. We have quite a few
We
ones.
normally have
where
one or
we-
two
Always.
detractors.
Yeah. Really?
But we've actually on
You
a
should-
ru-
you
we're
should-
actually
you
on a
should-
unanimous run. I'll have the full spreadsheet. We
Yeah,
can-
yeah,
we can
yeah.
look it up.
How many unanimous do we have? Yeses and no's.
I can look that up.
You should just keep a running, tally of like totals.
That's
You
not
don't
gonna
have
do my job.
You don't have to look it up, but it's fine. Anyway, Arjuna, why are you looking it up? What inspired the goatee?
I wanted
You wanna-
to
you-
shave.
Are you gonna shave your head and become Walter White?
You
would make
do
a
have
good
a
Walter White.
You should do a faux hawk thing, and then we
Hawk.
could call him like Hawk from
From Karate Kid
Karate Kid.
or is
So
it
Cobra
our-
Kai.
Our
Cobra
last
Kai.
our last unanimous was The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 6, where we all said no, it was not good.
that was last week?
Yes.
Or earlier this week?
And
Oh,
then
last
the
week.
one before that was Invincible, episodes 1 through 6. We said yes, it was good.
Wow.
And then before that, it was Falcon and Winter Soldier, episode 4, where we all said yes,
Yes,
it was
it
good.
was good.
However, we were not unanimous on episode 5 or the series as a whole.
Wow, there we go.
Right.
And with that, we're going to close it out. As always, you can find us on the social medias, such as Twitter at Was It Good, on Instagram at Was It Good BTM. As always, we live stream these podcasts every Monday and Friday. Have our website, wasitgood.info. Newsletter is coming shortly. Our next podcast is going to be this Friday on the season finale of Invincible,
Woo!
a show that gets violence right.
Mark,
What
we
a
need
PSA
to
was
talk.
that? Mark.
My name's not Mark.
I
Goodbye.
rewatched it again this weekend. So good. Episode 7. So,
I've got to rewatch it.
so
I'm gonna do it right
fucking
before the
Same.
next episode on
Same
Friday.
here.
just an iconic hour of television.
Was it an hour?
It's like 49
Oh,
minutes.
thank God.
Yeah.
Wait, is it 49 minutes?
There's so much that happens in that.
Shit.
episode.
Maybe I'll do it Thursday.
There's at least 10 like what the fuck moments.
Oh, that's amazing.
You could do one of those like BuzzFeed top 10 what the fuck moments just for that episode.
Nice. Is BuzzFeed known for top 10 stuff?
They're
Shut
known for
up.
listicles, Krishna.
Is that what they're known for? BuzzFeed?
And with that, goodbye.
Bye-bye.